video would be the day in the life, but I'm just too damn tired to do that right now. Maybe tomorrow. I need to just talk about stuff right now. It's been a week and a day as a granny nanny, and I was doing pretty good, but yesterday I started to get a bit irritated with the granny, and just kind of, she's asleep right now, and I'm just gonna chill here. And it's whenever I used to come out here as a kid and whatever, it'd be a joke with my cousins, not in Campo. We'd hate to be here because there's nothing to do. But I'm really finding that having nothing to do is pretty fantastic. It's definitely been interesting. Connecting more with my uncle, who's awesomely weird, but just awesome, and my aunt. And had some good moments there. I mean, one time my uncle was doing the laundry in the hall, and I just hear him saying, "Let's get her done," let's get it on. I'm not doing that justice, but he's so funny, and my aunt and I getting along well too. She's great. My aunt, my mom, I think she's a saint. I think my mom's in love with her. So when I came, my grandma's friend Joyce was watching her. In the few days she was out of the hospital and home before I got there. So she was waiting on her, like, hand and foot, like, answering the phone for her, doing everything for her, doing all her dishes, making everything for her, in this routine. And so, the first few days I'm doing that. I'm, like, doing everything. Then I slept in one day and I realized she can make breakfast by herself. And today she made her own lunch. So I'm still watching her. For a while I was brushing her hair and stuff, but now she's brushing her own hair. She's bathing herself, which is always good. So it's getting a little easier, especially, which I really need, because I have chronic fatigue, and these past 2 days I have been so exhausted, like falling asleep on a swing. Swings are like my favorite things. Hammocks and swings. Chair swings, porch swings, park swings. I love to swing. Not like that, not like, "Hey baby, you wanna swing?" I should though. I have the potential to be a lot more pimpin' than I am, don't I? So I've been thinking about a lot of things. Been thinking about my future. I mean, I always thought when I was like 15 I'd be such a grown-up. And obviously that passed. And I'm 20 years old now. And I feel like 45. Because I'm tired all the time. But I'm realizing that I might not be crippled for the rest of my life. Especially if I have this migraine disorder. And not MS. And I'm realizing that the future actually is a lot longer than I've been thinking. I mean, I've only been able to think, right out of college. What about when I'm like actually 45? What about when I'm 60? What am I going to be doing? That's why I've recently lined up 3 or 4 careers. So, I'm majoring to be a Spanish teacher. I'm going to have 2 bachelor's degrees in like just over a year. What if I... And so I want to be a neurologist, and I honestly, to be honest, I never really thought I could be anything more than a teacher. I never thought I could. Now I'm realizing, I'm pretty strong. I've got a lot of brains. I don't worry a whole lot about my grades because school's always been easy. I like to focus more on what I'm learning than my grades. They kind of dropped lately, but I'm a cripple. But not really. But I might be. I don't know. I think it's legit to say it's okay. And... oh yeah, so I want to be a neurologist, and I could actually do that by, kind of taking an extra semester and adding the neuroscience minor at my school. Or I could not. It doesn't matter. Right now, I think that's a good plan. And I want to be a photographer. you know, because I'm such a good videographer. Haha, no, not really. But like a professional, you know, a bit better skills than what I has now. And I would like to write novels. I think I'd be good at that. I want to do a lot of things. And I'm glad I'm realizing that ambition now. Yeah. I really like, you know, how it's sunny out and like the leaves are all green and they're like glowing in the sun and there's a light wind and it's like 72 degrees, you know, just right, and then there's like a wind chime and like the dog lazing around. I mean, my life might be taking care of an 86-year-old woman. But I'm okay with that right now. I'm okay with that right now. Let's see how I go in another week. But, let's see, last weekend my aunt and uncle and cousin's husband, I figure he's my cousin. We're pretty tight, you know, he's cool. I'm a dork. They came and rescued me, and we went to the famous, what's it called? Not Westminster, not Winnecker, Wisteria Candy Cottage in Broadway, maybe? I have no idea where that was, but I liked it, but they thought it was really small, which it was small. I thought it had a lot of New England-y charm, being in it was kind of small and cottagey. Had some Christmas decorations on the walls that looked New England-y. Anyway, that was fun. And then they were like, okay, that was the whole trip. And so we went to a casino and had a nice lunch, and then we gambled and I won my aunt $100 because, well, I say I won my aunt $100 because she was playing and it was her money, but I pushed the button and got the bonus round, and so she gave me $20. Had a lot of time to think. I don't think I've come to any good conclusions. I'm thinking about my family, the way my mom grew up. Oh, and how different she is from her mom, because I'm a lot like my mom, I think. I think a lot of how she's raised me has influenced me, and if I turned out to be like her, I'd be fine. I'm noticing how different she is from her mother, and I can see why, because her mother is... Okay. Grammy is a very well-loved and respected woman. She's a character. But she can be irritating. But it's definitely interesting to see how much of her own person my mother is. And it's also really weird to be in San Diego without her. Like, wait a second. Oh, and I went to In-N-Out Burger, totally unrelated, but have you ever been to In-N-Out Burger? It's good. And did you know they had, like, Bible verses on, like, the fries? I never knew that. I was like, wait a second, this is awesome. Totally stream of consciousness thinking there. On Friday, it'll have been 6 weeks since I got my ears pierced, and I'll be able to take them out. But to tell you the truth, I would have taken them out already, but I can't. I can't. They're kind of stuck. I can't undo my earrings. And yet that amuses me to no end. That's so funny. I should get back. She just went for a nap, but I should check. I check if she's breathing. Is that weird? That's not weird. Everyone checks if someone else is breathing, right? I check if my dog is breathing all the time. I'm gonna go make sure she's alive. She will be. She's stubborn like that. Isn't bad. I'm stubborn.